Good morning, y'all. Happy December. It's a hump day, December 1st, 2021. Missed you guys the last week or two. November was rough. Can you tell? Anywho, I've arisen from my slumber. Coffee in hand. Going to opine on the Oklahoma and Notre Dame debacles. A little bit in this video. I'll hit Oklahoma first. Number one on the outgoing. Lincoln Riley heading to USC. No brainer move. He is a good offensive coach. They threw a ton of money at him. They haven't released the details of the contract, but you know it's got to be north of $100 million. This is life changing money. He gets to be the big man and on campus in LA rather than the middle of the prairie. So that means a lot. The other thing is, if he's being honest with himself, they're headed to the SEC. They play defense there. He's going to be at a competitive disadvantage. Some of the best coaches in America are there. He goes to a relatively less talented Pac-12. But here's the thing. There's a lot of California talent at the high school level. So if he can recruit, he can get him. He can bring enough of his assistants along or whatnot. He can be very successful at USC. So that's a good move for both. So he has moved to the semi-professional level. He is now at USC. Come on, it's not really college. They're all on payrolls. All right, so who are they going to replace him with? Okay, so for the laugher of the speculation, Cliff Kingsbury. Not. Give me a freaking break. He's 9-2. He's at the number one seed in the NFC. He doesn't have to recruit. He even gets to he's got the lap of luxury out there in Phoenix. Beautiful weather year round. What in the world would he want to go to Oklahoma for? You know, we give drug tests to people like their athletes and some of the caregivers and maybe some of the people that are first responders. Maybe journalists would be another one that maybe should be getting drug tested on a regular basis. Because the crap that I've seen written is a joke. Cliff Kingsbury, there's no way. There's no way. Just, what are you doing? All right, so let's skip over that one. There was almost a rant there. But I saved you. I pulled it right back from the edge. All right, so let's go to some people that are pretty good. There are three. You're going to hear Cincinnati's Luke Fickell in every coaching situation. If I'm Luke Fickell, I don't want that job. He's building something special in Cincinnati. There will be better jobs to go to. There truly will. I don't like him for either of the two we're going to discuss today, and I'll explain that when I get to Notre Dame. But Luke Fickell is a special talent, but I would avoid this job. It's a trap. He's on the younger side, experience-wise. I wouldn't take this job if I was him. Now they're going to reach out to him, obviously, but I would not take it. Who would I be backing up the Brinks truck with lots of Benjamins for? One Mario Cristobal out in Oregon. long as he leaves those ugly looking uniforms out with the Ducks, I'll be fine. Man can recruit like a banshee. He is a master recruiter, and he's a pretty good X's and O's coach. And he has the offensive cred to play the kind of style that they seem to like in Norman. So I would go with Mario Cristobal. If you can't get him, Clemson's Brent Venables. He's the DC there, the defensive coordinator. Now he has turned down multiple jobs. He's 50 years old, but I have it on good authority. They play defense in the SEC. That might come in handy. Just saying. But they'd have to overpay him to get him to pry him out of Clemson. He really likes it there. He has turned down multiple jobs. I get the sense that he would be like if something ever happened and the Clemson job ended up open, he would want the Clemson job. He really legitimately likes Clemson. Loves the area, doesn't want to move and things of that nature. But when you sign on as a coach in major college sports, you're kind of having to make a contract with your family that in any given year we might have to go call the moving company. No, the moving truck company. I mean, it's just that's the way it works. You're always progressing to what is going to make you more, fill out your portfolio better. Eventually, you'll get the dream job and you stay there, but you don't start there. So, maybe Venables is a chance. So I would go Cristobal, being the best fit in Norman. And I think he would be transformational. He really would. He would also allow you to get some of that West Coast recruiting action going. And I think that's really important. Especially when you're going to play a wide open style. And he's just, I like his temperament. And anybody that can recruit can win, at that level. So let's talk about the debacle that is Notre Dame. Moving in the middle of the season, okay, like Coach Kelly did. It's kind of a pecker move. I'm going to say why. I understand any given year you can leave. We're near the end of the season. The dude could have signed or left it as an agreement in principle and said, just give me a couple of weeks. I don't want to walk out on my players when they actually have a shot at this college football playoff. The college football playoff people have already said that them being without a head coach could be a limiting factor in them jumping up in the top four. See, if Okie State, for example, lost in the Big 12 championship game, and Alabama was to lose, as they probably will, to Georgia, there's a chance Notre Dame could jump up into the top four. He may have just destroyed that chance. He probably, after 12 years, probably should have waited an extra week or two. Maybe 7, 8 days to see what's going on. Just for those kids that believed in him. Okay? That was a D move, period. And I think he needs to be called out for that. I mean, the Brinks truck's going to arrive. The checks will clear. You'll be fine. I'm pretty sure you weren't slumming around Target before this as it was. Okay? Something tells me something personal went down. Because this was cold-blooded, the way this was done. And I don't think that was too cool. I listened to Jack Swarbrick, the athletic director of Notre Dame, and he thinks it's a plum assignment. It's a destination job, and it certainly was 40 years ago, and it kind of is now. They have a problem though. If you want a truly, you want a Luke Fickle, okay? You have a problem. Number one, as Urban Meyer once said, they'll never win because they have to have because academics is number one there. I think it's good that it's number one there. But there's a bigger problem. Being an independent school and not being in a conference means that they got to fight for their right to exist going forward. They got to fight for their right to even exist in the conversation for a CFP. And they'll get major bowl bursts because they have a huge number of boosters all over the country. And they travel well. They've got booster clubs in all 50 states. Notre Dame is one of the biggest fan bases and alumni organizations that there is on the planet. And that gets them the overrated status that they normally have. But they'll get major bowls, but they won't get CFPs because they're not playing the type of schedule they need to. They need to be in a major conference. And if they don't join one, that's a limiting factor. If I'm Luke Fickle, I don't want that. He's going to the Big 12. He knows he can dominate the Big 12. That's why I don't think he needs to go to Oklahoma either, because he's heading to the Big 12 soon with Cincy. And they're going to do just fine. They will dominate that conference. That puts him in the CFP conversation every single year. If I'm Luke Fickle, I don't care how many Benjamins you throw at me. I'm staying at Cincy. There's another reason Luke Fickle doesn't take that job, and that is that it's the academic standards thing. You will be working with student athletes that are, level 1B. You've got to search so much harder because of the rigorous academic standards. Krzyzewski got it done in basketball at Duke. It can be done. Very difficult. So what I would do, if I'm Luke Fickle, I'm not taking either one, and I explained why. I would go for somebody who's used to dealing with this and has been successful, but doesn't have the resources that a Notre Dame has. So number one, I would get my school's ass into a conference. Number one. Then number two, I would stack as many dollar bills as possible up as high as the International Space Station if necessary, and contact a Mr. Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern. Great coach, long resume, clean ethics. He's actually Irish and does not have to fudge his resume like previous coaches have done before that have come to Penn State. Come to Notre Dame. Pat Fitzgerald is where it should start and end, but they will chase Luke Fickle around the sandlot, trying to buy him, or they'll come up with somebody out of nowhere who really doesn't have the resume to run an organization of that size with the problems that it creates. The compliance issues at Notre Dame and at Northwestern are difficult. You need a steady hand that knows how to do those things, somebody that's a little more disciplinarian. At most schools that are very, like in the SEC particularly, these are schools that they have people for that stuff who happen to have some of this. They take care of the compliance real easy that way. You know as well as I do, or better, that there's people taking these tests for these kids at these big football schools. These are guys that they can't spell. They can barely talk in a post-game interview. They're not passing college level courses. Come on, cut it out. Just stop it. So you need someone at a Notre Dame where they actually don't have an Ebonics waiver, like every other school seems to, other than Stanford and Duke and Harvard, and like, you know, those higher learning institutions. So if Northwestern fits that bill, it really does. And he's a Midwesterner. I think he could easily make that move. I think he would be very, very good. I think he'd be outstanding for that organization, quite frankly. So I think that, yeah, I would go Cristobal in Oklahoma. I would go Fitzgerald at Notre Dame. Now, I had a Freudian slip about Penn State. I want to congratulate Penn State. They extended their head coach for another 10 years. They lost their defensive coordinator right after that for him to go back to his roots at Virginia Tech. That's where he's from. So I think Happy Valley did the right thing there. You know, Penn State did the right thing. They're on the ascendancy over the past few years. They've had a tough year this year. They've got a really good quarterback coming in next year. I think Penn State will be just fine. So just wanted to say that. But that's all I have really on the coaching side. But I think just like I was trying to say, Lincoln Riley's going to do great out in USC. I think that Cristobal would be fantastic at Oklahoma, and I think he would do really well in the SEC. And Venables would be good too. And I think in Notre Dame, you got to bring Fitzgerald in or somebody of that nature. You really do. And anybody that, you know, if Luke Fickell gets tricked into either one of these jobs, I feel bad for him because he's made a huge mistake. They're going to try to get him at both of these institutions. It is a huge mistake on his part when he's going to the Big 12 anyway. Don't go to Oklahoma. And don't go where you're going to be disadvantaged by not even being in a conference at Notre Dame. So I'm Luke Fickell. You got to know when to fault. You got to know when to. When you're playing poker, you got to know when to fold, and you got to know when to play them, right? Fold. Wait a couple hands, you'll be fine. You got better hands coming. So, I think that's all I have today. I missed you guys, so this is an extra long one. Almost, we're at 19 minutes here. Like to talk. Here we are going down the stretch. I'm sure there'll be a lot more coaching stuff coming up soon. And we'll do a little bit more of instructional video stuff. Maybe some exercise videos, things of that nature. As we ready for some of these winter sports to really start ramping up as the fall grinds down to the end. So I will leave it at that. But I need some community out there, so I need you to spread this message. So please like, comment, subscribe, hit the ringy dingy, say all, and then spread this video far and wide. I need as much help as I can spreading this out to as many people as you can. So please share, 5 people that really are disadvantaged. I like saying disadvantaged today. That's my word of the day. Because there's just this pithy sports analysis that's missing in their lives. And I can scratch that itch for them. So, consider that maybe an early Christmas present to those that you love and care about. But send this stuff along to 4 or 5 people. We can start getting this thing moving, and we get enough people around here. Maybe I can start doing some things, maybe some interview segments. Maybe I can start doing some things that a little bit of a bigger channel can do. Otherwise, this just takes on the idea of cataloging, moments in time that my son can go watch someday. And that's not what I'm doing this for necessarily, but it is why I'm still doing it, to a very small, though I'm thankful for, audience. So, leave it at that. You guys have a great Wednesday. Hopefully I'll be back on Friday. I'm going to try and get regular. Well, both ways. I'm going to try and get regular here. And maybe take some Metamucil to get regular the other way. You know what I'm saying? Want to get in the Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of thing. We'll see. But hopefully I'll be in here on Friday. See what I can do. So, had a lot going on. Thanks for your patience. I will holler at you later. Peace out, me homies. See ya.